When insulin encounters a cell like this, it binds to the insulin receptors on the cell's surface. This triggers a signaling cascade inside the cell that ultimately targets glucose transporters called GLUT4 transporters. Note the contrast to the GLUT2 transporters that we saw when we were talking about how pancreatic beta cells respond to blood glucose levels. The goal here, as you might expect by now, isn't to memorize the various types of glucose transporters. If the 4 in GLUT4 led you to guess that there are at least 4 types of these transporters, you'd be right, and in fact there are more. But memorizing them all isn't required. Instead, the point is that different types of glucose transporters exist, and they're located in different cells and serve different purposes. This brings us back to the GLUT4 transporters in insulin-responsive cells. These transporters are stationed in the membrane of secretory vesicles, waiting for their signal, and in response to insulin, these vesicles fuse with the plasma membrane, allowing glucose to move into the cell from the bloodstream. You can think of GLUT4 as tunnels that glucose molecules can flow through along their concentration gradient. The idea is that when more glucose is outside the cell than inside, and GLUT4 transporters are on the cell's surface, glucose moves into the cell to equalize its concentration on both sides of the membrane. This reduces blood glucose levels. It's a pretty efficient process. And if you think back to your review of membrane transport, you might notice that this is an example of facilitated diffusion through a channel, which does not require ATP.